future. Sod sunscreen. Baby, never fall for a poem. For waif-like ink-stained wrists. Eyelashes that flirt with the rims of wine glasses and the edges of vows. For the ridging indent of tooth on lip that promises you wealth within its troubled furrows. Don't fall for those lips. The ones that promise the Mitchell to your Cohen, the Plath to your Hughes. The lips that parted, undulated with dangerous expectation under a hidden half-moon kiss. The lips that puckered with soured concentration as they sought the ombre palette for your watercoloured eyes. Don't trust her eyes, for that hitching breath of yearning you stifled when mawkish gaze is locked. The sharpened iceberg and ethanol flame that ran riot through the tapestry of your wanting body. The lowered glance that suddenly felt like emptiness, were the moments her seeking soul softened into your own, possessed it, crept into cobweb compartments you tried long ago to cauterise. And you can't know that coquette saint, if you want to be her saviour or martyr's ruin, a blossom in a cradled hand that begs you to savour her scent of crushed petal. And you can't understand why her witch's words open you like lotus rebirth, draw out your expression like peeling egoed wallpaper from your sensitive sight. How she chain smokes the cigarettes of your vulnerability but passes you the nicotine high. While she torchlights paranoia and sings around campfires built from your kindling emotion. While you offer your blackened firewood heart without question. While with her, you're never afraid to cry. Ace.
I've heard that a number of times. It gets better every time.
It does when I don't trip over the keys.
Welcome to the studios on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Everybody okay? I feel like we should either be setting up for the honey box Sunday morning, which is what we'll be doing during the season, or we should be reviewing the papers like Andrew Marr.
Maybe. I'd prefer the former.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's less chance of me tearing things up.
Yeah. So, mention the honey box. I think the honey box was your first appearance.
Yes.
Tell us in your words how all that happened, because.
Do you want to go, John, or?
After you.
So, I guess for me, it happened out of pure fear. I was asked to come and do Honey Box after I did the interview on the February. And I just didn't know how spoken word alone would stand up against two other bands. I think especially initially I was supposed to be on the same time as the metal showcase,
that's right.
wasn't I?
Originally to break that up sort of thing.
Yeah, and I thought that it's just going to fall a little bit flat. So I'd met John in January. We'd sort of had a laugh. And I knew that you were musical. So I basically... You're all right. Facebook message. And I just said, I've got a proposition.
Yeah.
If I send some stuff over, do you think you can create some music? And it came from there, really.
Yeah. And I'm never one to turn down a challenge. I think at the point where Emily and I met, I was feeling a bit adrift because I'd kind of hit this little stumbling block with what I've been getting up to till now. And I don't know. I think...
Because you have lots of different projects going on usually as well.
I've usually got some pies that are awaiting a finger to be jammed into them. That's a really awful...
I don't know, it's just...
Moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think...
Was that your attempt at poetry?
I think,
was that...
You don't want to hear my attempt at poetry.
No, you definitely don't.
But... Yeah, it just came. Us meeting and this coming up just came at the right time because I was just looking for something to get me back into thinking creatively and it just seems to work.
So at what point after that did the name arise and you decided to just do more work like that? And it wasn't just going to be a one-off for the Honeybox?
I'd say, I mean, we enjoyed Honeybox so much that there was a sense of, okay, we don't really want this to be a one-off.
Yeah.
And I'd say maybe 2 or 3 days after, the good feedback just kept trickling in and it didn't stop. And we were like, okay, well, neither of us have had feedback like this before, so we definitely need to make something happen. And I guess the name was about, I don't know.
A week after that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Quick.
Now, what was it supposed to happen now? I think, because we would, it only took a couple of days for us both to be sort of saying, I'm not done with this.
Yeah.
And then the week after, like a week later, I went on BBC Stoke and I got interviewed by Lucas Yeomans about all the stuff that I've been up to, and including this. We hadn't come up with the name yet, but I had a jolly good enthuse, and then got asked about what advice would I give to musicians, which was like, suddenly realised I have actually been doing this long enough to be able to do that. And then straight after the interview, we were just talking about coming up with a name. So we spent a little while, a few days, thinking of what the name ought to be.
Yeah.
And then that week, I think we christened all the social media stuff and got it all set up.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah.
It's good. And I imagine the collaboration before was the 3 numbers that you did on the Honeybox. 4. It was 4, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was work you'd already penned.
Yes.
And then John put some music to
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Since then, have you actually written together? Is that process still the same process? Or?
At the minute, the stuff that we've perfected or performing is still the same.
Yeah.
So it'll still be
so
something
that's the sort of process. Or?
Yeah, I guess it's fresher now because sort of the ones that we did at Honeybox, I might have been sitting on for a few years.
Yeah.
Whereas now, if I write something new, it pretty much goes straight over to John because I'm like, right, well, I've written that. I'm really pleased with it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what John's going to do with it. So it's more of a... We're looking at sort of writing together. We're looking at incorporating maybe some singing in there too.
I was going to ask. So that's interesting.
It's been discussed, and it's kind of, I've got stuff that's just waiting for when we're ready to get to it. I think the core of it is always going to be
the spoken word.
Is what we're doing now. But we've got things in the pipeline that we can just kind of chuck in and mix things up a little bit.
So what would you say is the difference between poetry and lyrics then for songs? What do you feel?
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of difference at all. I think the line is very thin. I think the only difference
it's
here...
It's sort of Leonard Cohen thing, isn't it? Of
exactly.
just transferring that into...
Yeah, I mean, I'm not singing it, and I guess that's the only difference, but I could maybe make my voice more tuneful, and then you wouldn't know.
I think sometimes it's just rhythmic.
Yeah.
As much as anything else, because spoken word performance doesn't necessarily have to find...
No, that's one thing.
A particular rhythm,
which is nice. It's flexible as well. I mean, I don't know if it's harder for you because we don't sort of have any time signatures or.
No, I kind of there are some pieces that are a lot more abstract, and then like you said, there's other things where this is definitely 4/4.
Yeah. But it keeps it fresh then when you perform it, because there'll be times where I'm in a different sort of mood and I'll read it in a slightly different way.
Yeah.
And they always seem to work and they always seem to finish in a nice time.
Okay.
But what you could probably perform the same piece on 2 consecutive days and they'd be completely different.
Yeah. It's something that we found whilst we were prepping for the Honeybox performance, is that we found that neither one of us was leading the other. We were just extremely reactive, and I think that's the thing that makes this something that we wanted to keep doing, is that we just found this, and I might have used this on our website bio, but there is a kind of emotional synergy that we just seem to have...
Yeah, that sounds ever so pretentious.
It really does. Synergy is a very difficult word to use without sounding pretentious.
It's okay, you almost passed it off.
Yeah, almost. I've got a little more practice to do.
I've noticed at the gigs John doesn't talk a lot.
I don't let him talk, no. Which is unusual because I normally hate the like gig patter or the poetry patter. I don't like hosting things. I don't like anything where I've got to be my own personality. If I've got the words already written, that's fine. But I find it quite enjoyable to tell you to hush.
You're not alone.
To have that dynamic of, John over here, don't get a microphone. I think now I've taken to giving you the opportunity to say one pun at the end of every performance.
Yeah.
Do you sort of look at him and say, this is it?
I actually just say, John, it's time for you to do your one pun now.
We have gotten a lot.
You ever been stuck for puns at that moment?
I put limelight. I put you on the spot, and you were just like, "Oh no!"
Rabbit in the headlight. But we've done quite a few gigs now over the last few months, and I think we're getting a lot more confident in kind of presenting ourselves as an audience. Because it's a weird thing, because I'm used to doing things relatively solo, so I just give myself free rein and go nuts. And it's interesting.
Not with me then.
But it's interesting, kind of realising that as you're part of a partnership, is just finding your feet as to how you present in that is really interesting and fun. We had a gig in Lichfield the other week, and it was the tapping party for the beer that you were involved with.
Swan Sonnet.
Yes. And whilst we were introducing one piece, which is about a colleague, I managed to just interrupt the gig patter by going, "And he's here tonight," which I was really pleased I got a laugh.
Yeah, you did. You did.
I did.
In a different city too.
Yeah. Now you mentioned Lichfield, so you live in Lichfield.
Yeah, I do.
You're the poet laureate for Staffordshire. We've not mentioned that yet.
Yes. Yeah.
Still.
I guess so. Yeah. So poet laureate of Staffordshire until October.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can be my PA if you like. October. I just had the email through the other day actually saying we're just starting to advertise for the next person now, and I had a little weep.
It's a 2 years thing, isn't it?
2 years. Yeah. I'm going to miss I'm going to miss having a title. Yeah. That'll be really sad.
But you're doing quite a lot in Stoke.
Yeah.
You came to Stoke. Yeah, so what's so great about what's happening around here that keeps you?
I think the place drew me immediately. So it would have been about a year ago, I think, that I came over for the festival in the factory that Emma Bridgewater. And that led to the formation of the Wordcraft Nights over at Bottlecraft. And so I was coming here sort of more and doing more things, and it just seemed that every single time I was here, there was something going on. There was something exciting. I was being surrounded by creative people and like-minded people, and that was really new for me. And to be sort of embraced so quickly as well, for people to be like, well, you're creative, you're all right, like, come and join us, was just the loveliest thing. And there is always something going on. They can't go a weekend without me being here. My petrol tank hates me. But constant opportunities, constant exciting things. It's fantastic.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's really good stuff, isn't it?
It's great.
It's great to hear about the things that are happening sort of locally.
And the fact that it's led to this creative partnership.
Yeah. And you're writing other things at the moment. You're in the studio. You putting another EP together or something?
2012 to 2015, I had a band called the John MacLeod Band, which I actually wince at now because I just like I've just renamed it TJMB. But we put the album out. There was all sorts of little complications and things that were just troublesome. Yeah. And I spent about a year and a half getting it taken back down. And I've passed all the stuff on to a friend of ours who he's basically been remaking it. So this weekend I'm off re-recording all my vocals for it, and Yeah, so I'm going to be re-releasing it at some point, which I'm really excited about. It's been quite nice to hand it all off to somebody else and let them.
That's nice.
Because what he's been doing has sounded quite nice so far. I had this one weekend where I was re-recording all my guitar parts for 3 days solid. My hands have never hated a human being more than myself because
that sounds visual.
Yeah.
And you're going to miss homecoming for this.
I was just about to say you're going to miss homecoming.
I know. It was silly of me to have it all booked up way before.
I booked the weather and everything. It's going to be nice. Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll be sweltering in a vocal booth somewhere.
Well, we're enjoying the circus.
Yeah.
Events and street theatre.
Poetry, I believe, is going on. Yeah, the Roman poets.
Superb.
Yeah.
Stars.
Not rubbing it in, I think.
No, why would you?
We're definitely not being like, we've got this great party that you're not going to. We're not saying that at all.
I will send you all selfies of me with headphones on.
And
it's okay, we'll probably be too busy to be looking at our phones.
Fine.
No, it's going to be great. But it's good that you're writing and stuff like that and you're getting on top of that again.
Yeah, the weird thing is that I've started writing for this. Well, not just for this as well, but I've actually found myself writing poetry, which I haven't done in years as well. But to actually start writing songs again and be inspired to start writing songs again is something that I was not expecting. Because I've had just basically 2 years of my head full of current events nonsense that's just really dragged me down. And so that was the point.
The creative process. Yeah. But it's good that's started. Yeah. Brilliant.
Even though some of your output is batty. John did a set at one of the Wordcraft nights. Was it last Wednesday?
Last Wednesday.
And you had a poem about the WI dressed up as pirates.
Yes.
And about a Princess Diana doll.
eBay listing.
And had the room in stitches. It's just absolutely bizarre.
It was really weird.
It was close to stand-up comedy. It was great. It was really good.
Yeah. It was... When I first wanted to start doing, like, stage stuff when I was a kid, I wanted to be out in Morecambe. and I idolised Spike Milligan. And so I wanted to be a comedian for the longest time until I discovered music and realised I enjoyed that more. And I had more chance of actually doing something useful with it.
Wow. Well, I met Spike Milligan a couple of times, but I'll tell you about that off air.
Okay.
One of my favourite poems of his is, my name is Fred Fanakapan. I walk about the town, sometimes with my trousers up, sometimes with them down. When they're down, they're down. When they're up, they're up. And when they're only halfway down, I was arrested.
I can see where you get your inspiration there.
But yeah, it was really fun to kind of to start performing. Like, it did feel a bit like stand-up. And I was just really excited and really baffled that it went down as well as it did.
Yeah, it was really good. Really good.
Fantastic. Where can we see you both performing soon?
Fuse Festival, I think, is next for us. So that, I believe, is 13th, 14th, 15th. Yeah.
Wow. So I think we're on the 13th.
We are on the Saturday. We're on the Saturday of that week in July. It's in Lichfield. It's wonderful. It's a festival that goes on for the 3 days. There's 2 tents and a little stage. And they have bands coming in and rolling all day. So we're doing Rose and Cloud with special guests. We do have some really special guests. I believe we have the Worcestershire Poet Laureate joining us, who's incredible. I idolise her like no one else. She's wonderful. So we've got people like that coming to support us with sets, and then we're doing a good half hour. So that'll be next up. And then open micing, we're going to do, taking it around. So I think the beauty, one of the nicest things about Rose and Cloud is taking people by surprise with it. A lot of people, if you said to someone, do you want to listen to some spoken word with music? They'd probably say, no, thank you.
But if it's there,
and that's, I think, what struck us most about the feedback we've had is people will come up and be like, we were expecting to hate that, and we didn't. We really loved it. We've got one guy who basically comes and watches us wherever we go, and he's incredible.
It's interesting what you say about that. If you ask people if they wanted to, it goes in line. I was talking to, I don't think we talked about this on air actually, but Selena Oakes was in here last week, and we were talking about some of the stuff they're doing at the moment. And she mentioned this, I think it was when we went off air actually, she was talking about this buddy sort of scheme where sometimes going into something, you might be, your network of friends, your people might not want to go and see something.
Yes.
And so you've got nobody to go and see it with, but you would like to do something like that. So this idea of having a sort of buddy scheme whereby you can put the word out on social media or something or whatever.
I think that's a great idea.
You know, I'd like to go and see this. Anybody want to come and see it with me, sort of thing.
Because there's nothing worse. If you've got something that no one wants to do, then you either drag someone who doesn't really want to go, and then neither of you enjoy it, or you end up having to go by yourself and then you don't enjoy it because you're by yourself.
And then we're talking about that fear of stepping over that threshold then into a building that you're not sure what it's like and who's in there or what, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So,
and am I going to be sat there thinking, oh, I look a bit strange?
Something I'm going to explore.
I always think that.
Look at it with them, with those guys as well.
Oh,
maybe.
I think that's a great idea. Really, really great idea.
So, while John grabs his guitar, you're going to play a new, you're going to do a play? You're going to do a new piece for us?
Yeah, we will.
Something fairly
we will.
new. What you're writing, where does it come from? What do you write about generally? Personal experience?
Personal experience, yeah, definitely. It always comes from there. I mean, I will write to commission. I will write things if asked, but normally my favourite kind of writing will hit me in the pub or in the car, or I had a piece hit me when I was at the theatre the other week and I was just like, I need to try and save this until I get home, and it will be just something clicks. It might be something visual that you think, right, I need to write about that because it reminds me of something else, or it might be just an emotion that you need to get out, or an event that's happened that you're angry about and you want to get it out. So that's how I've always found.
Yeah, similar.
Writing.
Similar as well, because I think sometimes you'll just get a straight turn of phrase. I think there's two things that will make me write. There'll be a straight turn of phrase, and then it's just like one drop of ink landing on a piece of paper, and then it just kind of spreads out, and it's like, okay.
And sometimes it spreads out into something you weren't intending it to be in the first place, but that's sort of okay.
Yeah, I mean, I started out musicking by playing drums. And so I'm really drawn to drum bits. Yeah. So like I used to love the Fleetwood Mac live DVD that they released, The Dance, and so I would obsessively watch Mick Fleetwood drum. Same with Paul Hester from Crowded House. He was an amazing drummer, and so I'm really drawn to a really good drum part, and sometimes that'll be the thing that starts me writing, but. And there's a song that I've written that I had it in my head when I was walking to work, and I got all the way to work. I sat at work for like the full morning, mentally just humming it to myself to make sure I didn't lose it. And then I went to go and get some lunch, sat back down, and it had gone. Absolutely gone. So I came up with this replacement melody for it, and then I got up the next morning and I was whistling it.
The original one?
The original one.
How strange.
Yeah, that's twice that's happened to me. But I love my brain for having given it back. But
it was just teasing you.
It was. And that's something that we'll be working on at some point.
Okay. Of course.
Of course.
So what's this one called?
This one's called, if you're listening to this, then yes, it is about you.
Okay.
You tell me you're such a tomboy and spit the words like barbed wire across my interjecting lips. Like the very formation of the word pains you. Each drop bomb consonant like regurgitated cyanide pill. Would it hurt you so much to just be a girl for once? And part of me wants to try the battlegrounds of backlash. To explain to you the idiosyncrasies of identity and stereotypes. or the fact that, despite your intentions residing firmly in the camp of disingenuous debauchery, other girls and boys can exchange words without their minds migrating below their unbuckling belts, or maybe the fact that none of this was really your business to begin with. You tell me I miss the way we talked, and instead of saying you mean talked about you, or about me but shone through the prism of ego that is you, I let the words falter and hide between the ridges of my clamped front teeth as part of me remembers, folding inside at the corners in origami disappointment, how once naivety gift-wrapped each part of me, offered them foolishly with cradled flowers and crumpled post-its, asked you to inspect, to understand each wrinkled uniqueness I presented you with, and the lemon smugness in the crease of your eyes shows me each box of myself, placed on a back shelf of sordid, skin-crawl memory. I'd ask for myself back, but it's clear, an exquisite heartbreak hopefulness, that I was never accepted to begin with.
Brilliant. Rough hair.
Wicked?
Wicked.
Wicked.
I was like, oh well. Yeah, it was nice.
That was nice.
Yeah,
That was good.